Call me Little Bo Beep, I'm out here shining. For the lost sheep, I'm out here grinding. I ain't talking cheese, I'm out here mining. Looking for diamonds, kingdom business, I'm mining. Trying to wake you up from the lullaby rhyming. Devil can't touch this heat, pantomiming. He is a liar, so said the lion Judah. Shelter in my protector, running to him, be faster than a puma. Holy is a wave, repping the ancient of days. Christ is the big kahuna. Got good news, I'ma give it to you. Giving all praise to the Most High. Got the victory, no night, no. Seeing ain't popping like a whole Sprite. Good news, I'ma give it to you. Yeah, got the victory, no night, seeing ain't popping like a whole Sprite. You are my everything. Yeah, hit that. You keep my soul from the flame. You even know my name. Yeah. You will reign. Hallelujah. Breaking news. Get down. We a Jew. Yeah. Hallelujah. Talk to 'em. Yeah. Baptism. Jumping out the water like free willing. Rolling with Christ, no free willing. You feel listening, you roll different. Ooh, son of man. Ain't like us, you move different. They don't like us, we move with them. No Oscars, we act different. Got good news, I'ma give it to you. Giving all praise to the Most High. Got the victory, no night, seeing ain't popping like a whole Sprite. Good news, I'ma give it to you. Got the victory, no night, seeing ain't popping like a whole Sprite. You are my everything. Yeah, get that. You keep my soul from the flame. You even know my name. Yeah. You will reign. Hallelujah. Breaking news. Get down. We a Jew. Yeah. Hallelujah. Talk to 'em. Yeah.
Time is running out, it's almost over. Love try waking up, we taking over. I esteem above myself my brothers, and I love the way my sisters shine, they them daughters. We here now, all esteem to the Most High. It's our time. Put your garment on for the showdown. Repent now, ain't no salvation from the Z-seats. The kingdom is here, and it's all up in your mouth.
You are my everything.
You're my everything.
You keep my soul from the flame. You even know my name.
You know my name.
You will reign. Breaking news. We a Jew.
Call love y'all by Shimmy outside. Call me outside, holla. Shalom. Salt of the earth.
Yo, float down there. Well, float down
See, I throw that forward for Judah. Yeah, the tribe of the rulers. Christ be the lion, he coming with shooters. No cabin is deeper than music. They won't understand what we've been doing. Waking up Israel, yeah, that's the nation that get your salvation. Just stick to them bases. I'm going crazy. Forgive me, Father, for acting like Jason. I'm killing this beat and I'm stabbing this temple. I'm spitting this truth from my God and my kinfolk. They heathen, they been hoes. R.I.P. Big Joe. Yeah, that's my brother. We had different mothers and had different struggles, but thanks for the info. Knowledge and wisdom you gave me that I can get to them beds. See Babylon big and Jake wanna trap out a bando. Riding a Lambo instead of really trying to get straight. We in a war, but don't end up a plate. Remember your ancestors, Job and 8. Remember the mighty men like King David. Fucking your brother, don't hold on to hate. Put in your all and you become great. Relate the strength, something like steak. I pray the most high, he don't hide his face. Throw out of your Yahweh for all your grace. It is a marathon, it's not a race. Endure to the end, gotta have faith. Gotta keep your head on the swivel. Bible say y'all straight goes in them pistols. The nation's gonna fire the missiles. And how we gonna solve all the issues. Americans pop like some pimples. The only one safety, that 1/3 of Israel. So don't get it twisted. Straight out the mouth of the witnesses. This in the settles. With Moses in the wilderness. Under the cloud and the pillars, you feeling me. Passing down all of this knowledge to our children. 1/3 is focus, ain't talking about riddling. We gotta get it in. Get the most high all the energy. On one accord, yeah, that synergy. 2/3 ain't feeling me. Yeah, cause they won't understand this shit. Blacks and Latinos and natives, my family coming. Still playing, they gon' fix the damages done from them curses. Yeah, we out here working. Out in them trenches, and no, we ain't serving. We out there teaching the servants of the Most High. Witness the work, get the water, Yahweh for all this purpose. We know it's worth it. We hope he worth it. Stepping that Ruah, Yahweh got more just than Tupac. Bruce pulling up, no two socks. Yeah, we them Hebrews. Precepts lead your doctrine, see through. Shit might drip and I ain't talking Evisu. Michael 4-1, yeah, be the sequel. Paradise on earth, getting is peaceful. No more ruling from the eagles. You're feeling me, righteousness is gonna be legal. You hearing me? Yeah, I know my people sick of captivity. Living in hell, facing all of this misery. That's how I be when the wicked be ruling. I'm washing my feet and they blood on swooping. Groove on this beat and I'm not 52. And yeah, how wish I stepping on heathens, he moving. Spit like a Uzi, you know how we brewing that blood on this garment. Them grapes gonna be juicy. This better growth and development, community revolution and progress. Brotherly love, override oppression, destruction. Them heathens knowing they can't stop it. Walking around, shooting precepts like rockets. Trying to kill off the old man. Follow your Yahweh, keep the laws, statutes, and the commandments, the whole plan. Yeah, I don't think they knew it was coming like that. Call out y'all, shoot y'all a shot. Yeah, I still got more to say. Jump on this beat like my last name is Carter. I got the spirit of a couple martyrs. Doing this here for my God, yeah, he awesome. Yeah, in the scriptures, my trade, I ain't talking no barter. Doing this here for my God and my nation. My diet so kosher, but I still fry bacon. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking so cryptic. And how wish I giving them big light on heathens, we blissing. Yeah. Double honor to the elders, they heaven sent. We pushing truth and they label us terrorists. Building Israel back to the marriage and kingdom is evident. Tables gonna turn and they heathen, they scared of it. Mount Zion is forever our residence. They won't ever, ever, ever forget this.
Damn, cook that bitch up, Milan.
My water straight from the throne. We built the altar with the unhewn stones. Roam through the city, all we see is these bones. So my face like flint till I wake a couple souls. A prophet hated by his own, so the father sent his son to bring the tribes of Jacob home. Jumping through these traps cause they trying to see us gone, but we walking through the fire just like Daniel and his bros. From Bereshit to her zone, we stay inside the book because the book is all we own. Heritage and you better hold it on. We like David fighting giants with no armor and a stone. We face east as a car home. We face east just to call home. We can't sleep till we all home. We won't rest till they all gone. So I guess that we be calling out they all bones. Bless the seed, invest the deep in the laws of our God. Make it Elohim, Shema, Warapah, all the Zad, Nakim, Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad, Nagim. Bless the seed, invest the deep in the laws of our God. Make it Elohim, Shema, Warapah, all the Zad, Nakim, Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad, Nagim. From Bereshit to the books in Greek, the dragon took the sheep. Man, the book complete. The Father looked for peace, but we shook the beast. Now we up until our power put the hook in cheek. Shema, Yasha Allah, Abanawa, Yahweh, Ahad. He the tower till he give us the power of God. Though in the tower you will never devour our tribe. The Lord despised all you devils, your hours arrive. Bless the seed that kept the peace. Never forget forgot the poor and he kept the feast. We trying to dodge destruction, they can't stop the seed. Barakataya Hawa and Mashak Nagi. Blessed is he that kept the peace. Never forgot the poor and he kept the feast. Trying to dodge destruction, they can't stop the seed. Barakataya Hawa and Mashak Nagi.
Hey, shalom, 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 Yasha Allah. All right, we are the Anointed House of Saints. First and foremost, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. I'm your brother Judah.
Hey, brother Jonathan, shalom, Israel, shalom.
All right, you already know what it is, man. Like the video when you enter the building, Baba Cashapp. Also, make sure if you have not subscribed already, that you are subscribed to the channel. Hit that that notification bell on the side of the subscribe button and hit all so you can get all the notifications when we go live and do a class. All right, you know, like I said last time, Brother Jonathan did a class, ended up being fire. But once again, you know, when it's folly in the title, it's 50 people in here. All right. Hey, but to the 16 people that are currently watching, hey, the water to you. All right, you got to know how to do what this brother is going over. You're not always going to have a camp that is going to be able to put out a feast day calendar on YouTube for you or Facebook. When YouTube and Facebook ain't here no more, and you got to still keep the feast of the Lord, how you going to do that? Or if there was no Facebook, right? If there was no Facebook, no YouTube, how would you keep the feast of the Lord? All right, so these are the kind of classes that people need. You don't have to be dependent on a camp or a congregation to know how to keep the feast. You need to know how to do this on your own. So we all going to learn something from this class today. Yeah, all right. Hey, check this out, man. A lot of things going on, brothers. If you want to do the work of the Lord, all right, if you want to do the work of the Lord and you want to do it with AHOS, shoot us an email to Anointed House of Saints. Lucky, I was about to say something else. Anointed House of Saints.
Anointed HOS.
Yeah, Anointed HOS. There you go. See, I knew I was going to say something different. Anointed HOS at gmail.com. Once again, you want to do the work of the Lord, you want to do it with us, send us an email to AnointedHOS at gmail.com. Sisters, if you want to put your brick in and help the brothers do the work of the Lord by doing things to make, you know, our lives a little bit easier, you know, helping us with the feast days, cooking for feast days. All right. You know, if you're not a soul, you want to help put the brothers' fringes on a camp attire. All right, you want to help decorate for feast days, the major feast days and things like that. Shoot us an email as well, AnointedHOS at gmail.com. All right, we need all brothers and sisters' hands on deck. All right, this is not a one-man show. This is something that we all have to put our brick in order to do. All right, also, man, check this out. Here we go. Passover 2023. Passover 2023.
Hey, the brother Yawasop said we got to taste your food first. We don't know about you like that.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, we might have to. If you really can cook, like not like you got reviews. You feel me? Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like don't say you can cook to yourself, deceiving your own selves. You feel me? All right. Yeah, Con King. Hey, yeah, definitely hit me, Tabernacle David. Yeah, I got you. If anybody else wants some, hit the email too. All right, but check this out. Passover 2023. April 3rd, that's on a Monday. Hit your boss up now. Okay? Let them know what's going on. Don't tell them you're going to Passover. Just tell them I need these days off. All right, but that's a Monday, April 3rd, 2023. You see what I'm saying? All right, it will be in Atlanta, Georgia for Passover. All right, if you want to RSVP, send us an email. But what I'm going to do, when you send us the email, I'm going to send you a link. And with that link, it'll be where you sign up for to RSVP, all that good stuff like that. So we know how many people's coming with you, all that good stuff. Passover is not free. I'm going to let brothers and sisters know now. Passover is not free. All right, we are a new camp. We 25 brothers deep. All right, you got to pay for a venue. You got to pay for food, the Seder meal, the whole 9 yards, decorating. We're going to put on a nice event for you. We definitely going to do that if we don't do nothing else. Believe that. All right, but we need your support. So we'll send you all the information in the email. But you need to start emailing now. Don't wait till the last minute. We got a very nice venue. We're going to have some good food. We're going to have live performances. We're going to have all that good stuff. It's going to be a whole weekend. So you want to get there the Friday before because we're going to be doing stuff that whole weekend. All right. So make sure you in the building. The Lord's Passover, April 3rd, 2023 in Atlanta, Georgia. Be there, man. Be there. Be there. Hey, Khan Tabernacle, David, I do. Yep, so do. So, hey, hit me up, King. Know what I'm saying? So, with that, I'm going to shout out some people, and we're going to get started in this class, all right? So, hey, shout out to the brother Soldier Kazaki in the building, Shalom.
Shalom, King, Shalom.
Soldier Banyamyan in the building, Shalom, King.
Shalom.
Soldier Not, Shalom. Sister Joan Gilchrist, Shalom, Shalom. Smart Home Pro, Shalom, King. Soldier Nadiyab, Shalom. Sister Laretha, Shalom. Sister Laretha can throw down, man.
Hey, that's right.
Looking at Passover, man. Hey, we didn't miss a beat at Tabernacles, and she was about 99% of that. I even go.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. North Carolina, the only place where you can have tabernacles. Y'all was eating sandwiches and y'all was heating up beans over the fire, man. We was eating full meals at tabernacles. Shout out to all the sisters at North Carolina.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. The brother Soldier Kadar Haran in the building. We had to do a little bit of bragging with Shalom, Shalom. Soldier Yawasop in the building. Shalom. All right. Brother Eliel in the building. Shalom. Sister Abaya. Shalom, sis. Shalom. The Soldier Kadash in the building. Shalom. All right. Sister Carla Taylor. Shalom, sister. All right. The brother Tabernacle of David's in the building. Shalom. Sister Lahama is in the building. Shalom, sister. All right.
Hey, hold up. Hey, for that one right there, Ben Yehuda. So he's saying when you say cedar, did you say cedar?
Said the Seder meal.
Okay, I didn't even hear you say that. But yeah, the word cedar just means order, right? It just means the ordered meal.
Right.
So when we do our Passover lesson, we will definitely go over that. But yeah, hey, if you want to call it a cedar, that's what you can call it. But we do it according to what we see in the scriptures. We don't necessarily have the weird shaped plate and you know, dipping it into we don't do it the way the so-called Jewish man do it, but we do it the way we see it in the scriptures. All right.
That's right. That's right. Brother Ariel, Shalom, Shalom. All right. Hey, the captain Yakim is in the building, Shalom.
That's right.
And the soldier Zaya is in the building, all right? Shalom, Shalom. He said, when y'all get y'all taxes, she said, when y'all get y'all taxes, go ahead and pay then. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're not beating people over the head. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely got to make sure that we put on a good feast for everybody that's coming. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right.
Don't look at it as you know, a cost to get into the Lord's feast day. Don't look at it as that. All right, you donating towards what you are receiving at the feast day. And if you ever been to a new moon where we at, you're gonna be well fed.
That's right.
All right, you're gonna be well fed. You're gonna have a good time. You know, DJ Shaquat, DJ Big Judah, we're gonna be on the ones and twos. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can dance a little bit. Like I said, we got live performances. Got one of my good brothers that's going to be performing. I'm sure Giannis is going to perform. You know what I'm saying? The brother Knock might perform. You know, say the sister Abaya might be up in there. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of good things going on. You and your family is going to have an excellent time. Y'all going to be safe in the whole 9 yards. So definitely go ahead and send them RSVP emails. Hey, shalom to the good brother Zephaniah, always tuning in from HOY. We appreciate the support, King. All right, so that's it for all the announcements. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the brother said. I'm definitely interested in the cedar. Y'all keep. I've been looking for more structure for my family's Pesach meal. Well, send us an email.
Yeah, Khan, that's
Send
right.
us an email and come through. Come through. They said that we need
Yakum,
that. They need Mashat Nagid live, man.
Hey, Khan, all praises.
Y'all say he's dropping balls. Hey,
That's right.
You tweaking, man.
That's right. Hey, we're gonna be in here, man. I'm telling you.
That's right. There's going to be a lot of good things going on at Passover. But you know what I'm saying? That's it for our announcements. Once again, Passover, send us an RSVP. And if you want to prospect with the good brothers at AHOS, want to do the work of the Lord, RSVP. All right, don't forget to donate if the Most High puts that on your spirit. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate everything. And with that, I'm going to yield to the brother.
Hey, Khan, all praises to the Most High. Hey, since we on the topic of feast days, that's what we're talking about, right? How to calculate these feast days. So, hey, I do want to remind y'all, there's a quiz at the bottom, right? There's a link at the bottom. It's a quiz. I'm gonna actually go over some of that. That's why I keep pushing. I want y'all to kind of be engaged and see if y'all know these answers, right? During the class, go back after the class, you know, and let's see what you know. So we can get maximum edification. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, man. If we could share that screen, Judah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started for the Akim. There we go. All right. So all praises. How to calculate feast days. And so this is an important lesson, like the brother was kind of speaking towards earlier. And stop me whenever you need to. But this is an important lesson because a lot of us, we kind of rely on other camps and other people to put information out so we can know when the feast days occur, right? But as the scripture says, we need to prove all things, and we need to know how to find these feast days on our own, how to verify them on our own. Because, hey, God forbid the famine of the word happen, and you need to know when the feast days start, right? So this is a lesson that you must know how to take care of on your own. This is our feast day calendar for the upcoming year. We utilize the principles that I'm getting ready to bring out in order to give you this calendar. All right. We utilize these same principles. So you'll be able to make a calendar for your house. You'll be able to make a calendar for your family. If you need the calendar that we use, send us an email, AnointedHOS. We'll get that over to you. All right.
I'll get that over to you in 2 minutes. Send it now. Right. I'll send it to you.
That's right. All right. So let's start here. If you want to calculate the feast days, not to include the Sabbath, and we're going to deal with that last. But if you want to calculate the feast days, understanding the moon is the first step. This is step number 1. Let's get Genesis 1:14. Right? This is step number 1 to understanding this.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 14. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Okay, so right here we see why the Most High established the lights that was in the firmament of the heaven, right? Not only to divide the night from the day, but also to be for signs and seasons and days and years. Now, this is what I want to point out. That word seasons right there, right? So what we're looking at now is the Strong's number for the word seasons. Okay, it's right here on this side of the screen. So on that right side, H4150, it's the word moed. Plural will be moedim, and it means the appointed time, the place, or the meeting place, right? So these are the appointed times. Like it's like an appointment. When we dealing with the Most High God, he do everything on time. So this is an appointment that you have to be at, right? Let me get some precepts on time real quick so y'all can understand the importance of that. This just came to my mind, so Salaki, I didn't have this precept ready. I do that a lot. I'm starting to notice, right? Y'all put some sevens in the chat if y'all know where I'm going, right? While I get this.
And brothers, men especially need to know how to do this, so you can lead your families. Because there's gonna come a time where YouTube, the internet, all that ain't gonna exist no more.
Right.
All right. And I think last year we had a 13th month, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And you gotta know how to deal with that. With Esau's leap years and 28 days, sometimes 29 days, 30 days in a month, sometimes 31 days. You got to know how to deal with that.
That's a
you
fact.
got to know how to deal with that, because in the Bible, the month is roughly 30 days. So you got to know how to deal with all of that. You got to be able to lead your family. So I'm sure he's going to probably bring this precept out so you can keep the feast in its proper season.
That's right. Hey, and not only in its proper season, but that you, well, yeah, definitely, so you can keep it in its proper season, but also you don't want to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? Let's think about what happened with Moses coming out of the Exodus. The Most High God told him, all right, cool, on the 14th day you're gonna strike this blood on the doorpost. What if you had your days off? What if you was counting from the wrong day?
You like, tomorrow I'm gonna do that, and
yeah, everybody else already did it, but you like, nah, that's next Thursday, right? Now you finish. Now you just lost your firstborn because you had the days mixed up, right? I'm speaking in the spirit. I understand that we're in a different time and the Most High is dealing with grace. But if we're gonna serve the Most High God in spirit and in truth, we're gonna do it to the best of our ability, Con.
Hey, so, and don't act like, let's not act like the Most High won't do something like, oh, you made a small mistake. Like he won't. Let's think about the brother who tried to save the Ark of the Covenant from falling.
Facts.
His heart was in the right place, and he died for not following instructions. So,
hey, and you did a lesson on that. Judah did a lesson on that same subject. Yeah, and he called it it's not what you say, it's not okay. It's not gonna be okay, or something like that. I forgot.
It was a new moon lesson. I wish we would record it, but it was the Most High doesn't understand.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because you know how like you mess up and it's like, he'll understand. He knows my heart. You don't want the Most High to know your heart, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Because that's not gonna work in your favor. So
nah, it's not.
So let's serve the Lord in spirit and in truth, and let's do it to the best of our ability. This is the precept I wanted to bring out. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 16. All the works of the Lord are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commandeth shall be accomplished in due season. Right? Let me follow that up. Let me follow that one up with Sirach 43 and 6.
Can I read it for you? This is the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 6.
And matter of fact, we'll come back to that one. My fault. We'll come back to that. Get Ecclesiastes 3 and 1.
Okay, Con. This is the book of Ecclesiastes. If I can find it. Chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Hey, you see that? Everything there is a season. Once again, that word season can be understood as moedim or appointed time, right? So to everything there's a season. And in case you think I just said that, look at the right side of your screen one more time, right? The H4150 can be translated into seasons. All right. So we're going to keep rolling. Now, in order to understand feast days and to order to understand the counting of days and knowing when things are supposed to happen, you got to be able to calculate the new moon first. Because the scripture might tell you in the third month on the 5th day of the month, right? So if it say that, first you got to know where the third month is. Then you got to know to start counting from that first day of that month. So you got to know a couple of things in order to fulfill these commandments. All right. I'm not going to get those precepts, but I'm showing you some new moon precepts. We just went over these. If you need these, go back to the new moon lesson we just did or any of the previous new moon lessons we've done. Right now. And I appreciate y'all for responding to that quiz. We're going to go over that towards the end of the class. I want to see how much of y'all got all of these right. And keep in mind also that last question is a open answer question. So it's going to show you that it's wrong up front until we have time to read it and mark it right. But you most likely got the answer right if you answered it correctly. All right. Let's get this one. Isaiah 66 and 23.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High.
Okay, so before we get these other verses, right, we're shown here that the new moon is going to be established in the last days, in the kingdom of the Most High God, in the final temple. If you reading about the end times and you go into the latter chapters of the book of Ezekiel, you'll start seeing he's talking about the last days, the end times, this final temple that's going to be open, right? Well, Isaiah 66 is kind of in that same time frame. And what he's saying is in those days, all flesh will come to worship before the Lord from new moon to new moon, from Sabbath to Sabbath, right? So in order for us to understand that, we have to know what the new moon is. So Numbers chapter 10 and 10 tells us that a new moon is the beginning of your month. And that's a set apart day. That's a day that we blow up the trumpet. That's the day that we have special sacrifices and offerings. That's a day that a lot of different things happen. And it happens like that because it's a set day of worship, right? That's the day that the Most High is going to hear your worship. And he's going to accept your worship, even in the final temple. All right. So y'all remember that. Now we got to understand something else. So this is when we start getting into the knowledge of the moon. All right. How to calculate the new moon. How do we know it's a new moon? It's a lot of different doctrines of Israel, right? And we respect all doctrines. We're going to start with Colossians chapter 2 and verse 16.
You said 2 and 16?
Yeah, Con.
All right, Con.
We want to let you know that we respect other brothers' doctrines based on this verse right here.
Con. This book of Colossians chapter 2 and verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days.
Come on.
Which are a shadow of the things to come, but the body is of Hamashiach.
Now, the key verse right there is verse 17. These new moons and stuff that we're doing right now is a shadow of things to come. Why? Because Judges 5 and 11. Because we rehearsing the righteous acts. We trying our best to fulfill what the scripture is pointing to. But when we get to the kingdom, that's going to be the real deal. Right? So right now we practicing, we rehearsing for those things, and we doing the best we can. But you got to remember, we studying the scriptures in a foreign language. We eating our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles. Right? We are at a very strong disadvantage. And we under the curses trying to fulfill these things. So have mercy and have patience with your fellow brethren. Now, some people believe that the new moon is the full moon, which we're going to look at. And some people think it's the first light. We personally teach that it's the dark moon, right? At the end of the moon cycle, the moon's light decreases until it's gone. And when it's all the way gone, that's the sign of the new moon, right? According to how we teach it. If the dark moon falls after a certain point in time, I wouldn't even say 12 a.m. Salakia for me putting that on there, I'm going to have to edit that. If the dark moon falls, I would say before the sun goes down, right? And we'll go into that a little bit later. But if the dark moon falls after a certain point in time, we reckon the new moon as the next day. All right. So let's get Sirach 43 now. That's why I didn't want to get it before, because we're going to read it right here. And we're going to understand why we teach is the dark moon.
Come. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 6. He made the moon also to serve at her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world.
Right? Because we just read that in Genesis 1 and 14. Come on.
From the moon is the signs of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection.
Now, what does the word perfection mean? The word perfection means complete, right? So as the cycle is becoming complete, the moon, it says the light decreaseth. So that's why we believe that the new moon is not the full moon where it's 100% illuminated. We believe that the new moon is the black moon because when it's complete, the light has decreased. right? Perfection is that it has decreased. Also, historical sources point out that when you keep the dark moon or even the first light as your new moon, 15 days from that is going to bring you close to that full moon. And in the ancient cultures, our people was outside under the moonlight, right? So being under the moonlight, you can be outside longer because now you got light at nighttime, right? It's the perfect day for a feast day, right? I can see, we can go outside, we can continue the festivities. There's enough light outside for us to do so. All right. I hope y'all following. Now, when you look at this chart that we're looking at right here, okay, as the moon is getting bigger, all right, as it's getting bigger, it's called waxing. So the way you look at this chart is you start from the new moon here on the right hand side and you go counterclockwise. So every 7 days you hit a quarter phase. So if you go outside right now, let's just do an experiment so that y'all can understand what's going on. If you go outside right now, if it's a black moon, which we know is not a black moon, it's a little bit of light on the moon because we had our new moon a couple of days ago. So let's pretend it's a black moon today. You go outside, it's a black moon. 7 days from now, you go outside, it's going to be that first quarter. 7 days from that, it's going to be a full moon. 7 days from that, it's going to be the third quarter. And 7 days from that, approximately, give or take, because the moon cycles do kind of fluctuate on a half day basis. So 7 days from that, or possibly that following day, it'll be a new moon. That's how the cycle has been working continually since the beginning of creation. Right? So we're gonna explore later why that's important, because your enemies in their crafty counsel, they know you trying to keep these feast days and they know you watching the moon. If they teach you the moon don't matter, and if they teach you to stop keeping the new moon, then the feast days fall out of whack. You don't know what season you in. You don't know what month you in. Everything else falls away after that, right? So the crafty counsel has separated us from our culture, and this is one of the main components. So when you go outside and look at that moon, this is a very important thing. The Most High put this there for signs, seasons, and in appointed times. All right. I'm gonna keep going. Now, these are some tools you can use, right? You can go to almanac.com. Actually, I'm gonna get the brother Judah to pull this up. Can you do that for me? Because if I pull it up, my whole computer gonna act stupid.
Almanac.com?
No, go to time and date. Go to timeanddate.com. Right? We're gonna show y'all something. If y'all have any questions, please let us know. This is the time for this. Okay, and look at what the brother Obadiah Asher Israel said, right? The upcoming evening after the new moon event is the first of the month. Correct. So the 24-hour period that follows that new moon, that is what we call the first day of the month, right? So we bring it in with the celebration, and then that following day, that following 24-hour period is our first day of the month. That's the basis of what you're going to use to calculate your days. Now, you can go to those 3 websites that I was showing you, almanac.com, timeanddate.com, and moongiant.com. You can go to any one of those. You can be anywhere on earth and you can see exactly what the moon phase is. Even if you can't physically go outside and look at it, they've used scientific research and bunch of calculations and all this stuff to figure out how much the moon is illuminated every day. Right? So this is one website that you can go to. Type in today's moon phase or look for there you go. Today's moon phase. Right?
Oop, my bad. Trying to type fast and be fancy for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
Okay.
Is it right here?
Salakia. No, that's not it.
Okay.
Come out and Google and type that in Google and then pull it up. I don't know why it does that. Like when you go into the website, it's a specific button and I forgot what button it is.
Right here. Let's see.
Yep. Okay, there we go. Now this is a different website. This website right here is this Moon Giant.
Yep.
Yeah, Con. So this is Moon Giant. So this is another website you can use. But if you're looking at the screen, can you just zoom in just a little bit?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Look at that, Israel. It's telling you how much the moon is illuminated today. Once again, as the month progresses, the moon gets bigger until it gets to that full moon, and then the moon gets smaller until it disappears. It decreases in its perfection. So as we're looking at this diagram right here, he can scroll to the right and he can choose any day. If he wants to know what day the full moon gonna be, yeah, they're gonna hit you with that. If he want to know what day the full moon gonna be, he can go all the way to the full moon, Israel. Look at this. It's gonna tell you where 100%. It's gonna say 100%. All right, you see that? They wilding tonight, boy.
They
All
really
right.
tripping.
So if you look at it, it says February the 5th. Or is that February the 5th is gonna be the full moon. It'll also, if you click on that moon, it'll tell you the time of day. So if it's like I said, if it's before the sun goes down, then at that point we like, all right, cool, it's gonna be the next day, right? That's when you kind of getting technical with it. But like I said, we're trying to do our best to serve the Lord. So that's how I would do to calculate the moon phases. And we can follow the moon that way. You can also obviously go outside and observe the moon, which is the way that our ancestors used to do it. And they would have a watchman, and that watchman would blow the shofar during the new moon to announce to the whole kingdom that today is the new moon.
Hey, Salakia, there's also a couple of apps that you can get if you have an Android. I don't know, because you know y'all iffy. But if you have an iPhone, you can get two apps. You can get the Moon, calendar moon phases, or the one that I used to use, moon phases and lunar calendar. All right, I'm gonna show it to y'all real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's kind of crazy, right? But whatever. Y'all can get the gist of it.
That's right.
But that's a good app. I used to use that app a lot. That's a good one. And it does the same thing that website was doing. You know, it tells you when it's gonna be it tells you all those different things about the moon, when the 100% is gonna be and all that good stuff like that. It's right on your phone.
That's right. That's right. Because it's possible for it to look like it's gonna be a full moon, but it's not.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you want to pay attention to. I'm gonna show you this before I pull my screen back up. I bought this at Walmart for like $5. I use this when I'm talking to the people at work and I'm trying to request days off. Because look, I got my moon phases on my calendar, so that I can take this to work with me, and they'd be like, "Yo, do you want to work on the 27th?" I'd be like, "I can't do it." You know what I'm saying? Because I already know that's a day on my calendar. Oh no, that's gonna be a black moon. That might be the new moon. I'm good. So it's multiple ways to stay on top of that. All right. So let's get back into it, because we're gonna give y'all some more nuggets, right? And we're gonna get some more precepts, obviously. So remember, there's 4 ways you can, and it's more than 4, but I'm giving you 4. You can go outside and look. You can use almanac.com, timeanddate.com, and moongiant.com. All right. Now, how do you say happy new moon? This is something that a lot of people mess up, right? The word ashar, and we're going to actually just look at the words on the screen. All right. The word kadash means moon. Okay. I tried to put the paleo on here. It was rejecting my fonts. Y'all forgive me. But H2320 is the word new moon or month. All right. It's kadash, or if you say it in the other dialect, kodesh. Right. H3677 is kasa or keseh. Right. It's full moon. Notice that the word for new moon and the word for full moon is 2 separate words. If the new moon is the full moon, why is it 2 separate words? Right? That's another key. Let's keep going. The word Yirach is H3391. It means month. So what a lot of y'all will say is, Ashar Kodash Yarak. Kodash with a Q is holy. Right? We know that the word holy just means set apart. So you're not wrong for saying it's a holy moon because it's a day that we set aside for the Most High. So you're not wrong for saying that, but that's not how you say Happy New Moon. Happy New Moon is Ashar Kadash Yarak. All right, and it means happy moon of the month, basically. Happy new moon of the month. Right? And there go your word Ashar. And that's how you say it at the bottom. Ashar Kadash Yarak. All right. So y'all stop saying it wrong. All right. So let's go into this, man. The appointed times. Let's start at Exodus chapter 12 and verse 2. Now that we understand what the months are, now let's understand the seasons. So let's say you just woke up yesterday. You just starting to try to keep these feast days. You don't know your right hand from your left hand. And you like, yo, what's the next feast day? This is how you figure it out. All right. We're going to start at Exodus 12 and 2.
Con, this book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Con. All right. So this month is going to be the first month of the year. All right. Y'all put the name of the first month of the year in the chat. I know it's on the screen, but give me that name and give me the alternate name as well. Because that's the key that you need. You need that name and the alternate name. All right. All right. Okay. The brother Kadash put it up there. Abib / Nisan. All right. Where do we get the word Nisan from? Abib is the Hebrew word for the season that we in right now. Or the season that we're talking about right now. Right. So Abib is the word, the Hebrew word. But where does this word Nisan come from? Right. So we're going to get into it. Let's go over to Exodus 34 and 18.
Book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse 18. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee, in the time of the month Abib, for in the month Abib thou camest out of Egypt.
You see that? So this is the month we came out of Egypt. This is the month the Passover happened. So we know that whatever month this is the month we're dealing with. All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy 16 and 9. There's a lot of clues that let you know what season the month of Abib is.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16 and verse 9. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn.
Okay, so this is dealing with the Feast of Pentecost, right? And we know in order to count Pentecost, you need to count 7 weeks. But when do you start counting your 7 weeks? You count it from Passover, right? From the Feast of Passover. And during the Feast of Passover, it's a harvest festival. During that harvest festival, you're putting the sickle to the corn because you got to bring it to wave before the Lord, right? It all makes perfect sense. So whatever this month is, you had a harvest during this month. So that marks out the winter time, right? And that marks out, really right now, it just marks out the winter time. So we know it's not the winter, all right? And then now we can get another clue. Let's get Esther 3 and 7. And there's an easy way to teach this, but we got to give y'all all the precepts first. You on mute if you're saying something, Mike.
Shoot, my bad. This is the book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 7. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of the king a something, they cast pure. That is the lot before Haman from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month. That is the month Adar.
So this verse right here tells you a lot. Okay, but we only gonna deal with Nisan. We just read that the month of Abib is the first month of the year. Why are they calling their first month Nisan? Somebody put that in the chat. Y'all got to know this. Why are they calling the first month Nisan in this book? And there's a very simple answer. This is how you know, and we can use cultural resources and different we can cross examine different cultures, and we can prove that the Passover is supposed to be in the spring by just using this one verse right here. Right? So y'all tell me, why are they calling it Nisan? Right? And while y'all trying to figure that out, I'm gonna say this. There were different cultures in the area of where we were living at. Remember, we was in captivity in various different places. The book of Esther is really taking place largely from captivity, right? Primary or exclusively from captivity. So if we think about that, their culture is going to have an effect on our culture. And that's what happened. The month Nisan is a Babylonian month. And the Babylonians was one of the first great empires that took over the Middle East like that, what we call today the Middle East. So a lot of different people would call the months by that name because they was conquered as well by the Babylonians. So the reason that we knew what Nisan was, and the reason we used that, is because the Babylonians used it. And it's easy to prove that the Babylonians kept Nisan in the first month of the year during the spring. Very easy to prove that. So this right here is a key marker to let us know you start your year in the spring. That's why we reject what they call New Year's, right? New Year's just passed. Ain't no damn New Year's. The Most High God said the spring is the New Year's. That's what we're going to keep. All right, let's keep going. So because we now know where the year starts, we know the year starts in the spring. We know where the month starts on the dark moon. Now we can start counting our days for the feast days. You have to learn it this way. And if you try to take shortcuts, you're going to be out here. I used to be cool with this dude when I first came into the truth. I was cool with this dude. I met like on Facebook or something like that. And he seemed cool. Over time, the man was talking about the Passover was in the fall. And he had all these breakdowns about why the Passover was in the fall. And I just never could rock with it. And I was like, yo, that doesn't make sense. When you cross-reference where Nisan comes from and where and how it lines up with the month of Abib. And that's why throughout the scriptures, sometimes a Hebrew month name will be used and sometimes a Babylonian month name will be used, right? Sometimes our people will say it's the month of Tammuz, and you know good and well we ain't dealing with no Tammuz, but that's a Babylonian month name, right? These things happen a lot. That's how we are able to know what season we in. All right, let's get to this next one. So calculating the feast days. Once you are able to understand where to start your year and you're able to count the moons, now you are ready to begin counting your feast days. All right. I don't know if y'all know this, but there's some feast days that we keep that's not in the Torah. We have Torah feast days, right? Which is in the laws, statutes, and commandments by Moses himself. And then we also have cultural feast days. The Passover is in the first month. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, we believe is that same day, right? The 14th, 15th. And then starting from the 15th, you count 7 days, right? We believe that the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts the 14th to 15th and goes 7 days, right? So that's your first month. That's what you're doing during the first month. Then you got the day of first fruits, right? That's the day that you wave the sheath offering. You can read that in Leviticus chapter 23 and 9. Then you got Pentecost. You count 7 Sabbaths from that day of first fruits, right? And once you count the 7 Sabbaths, that very next day is what they call Pentecost. So this right here is where we get the word Pentecost from, because it's 50. 7 times 7 is 49. Next day is 50. All right. Trumpets is the first day of the 7th month. So now we 6 months later into the calendar, right? Most of your feast days happen in the first month, and then 6 months later, half a year later, you got your 7th month. That's going to be flooded with feast days as well. So you got the Feast of Trumpets in Leviticus chapter 23, Day of Atonement, 10th day of the 7th month, and then finally the Feast of Tabernacles. These are your Torah commanded feast days. All right. You calculate these by knowing what season to start in. Then you watch for that new moon. And from the new moon, you're going to count to the corresponding day in that month. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. All right. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here, we got a new moon right here, right? So now if I'm looking for the 10th day to count, let's say this is the 10th, let's say this is the 7th month. So that day right there, I'm going to count 9 more days to get to the Day of Atonement. So this is my new moon day. Day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Day of Atonement right there. Right? That's how you're going to do that. If you grab your calendar and you go through and do that all throughout the year, you don't have to worry about being caught off guard when the people at your job want to sign you up to go to some damn conference or something like that. You already got everything set up. Right? That's a beautiful question. The Captain Aharon said, where can I find that in the scripture, the Torah feast days? Let's pull this back up. All right. This is where your Torah feast days will be found. All right. It's really going to be Leviticus chapter 23. That's really all you need. This calendar I got from Walmart. Like I said, $5-10 at Walmart. Real good buy, because they actually have a lot of your feast days already marked off in here. Because I know a lot of y'all wicked, so y'all keeping Father's Day. So there go your Father's Day right there.
Hey, check this out though. AHOS calendar's coming soon. Don't worry about it.
Ooh, sheesh. Hey, I'm telling you, man. That's right. Right? So look, you got certain feast days in here though. I thought I saw Passover in here. And once again, keep in mind that they're going off of the Ishman's calendar. So you're gonna have to take that with a grain of salt. Count your own days. Understand leap years and things like that. That's a whole separate lesson. I'm not going into that. All right. So that brother said he gonna be on the cover. See, that's wickedness, man. I'm telling you. Right. So let's keep rolling. So Leviticus chapter 23 is your main chapter you need. If you want to study the Passover, you can go into Exodus chapter 12. Feast of Weeks and Pentecost. You can read Acts chapter 2. Right. It's a lot of different things you can do. All right. We're not going to stay on that too long. Let's keep rolling. And once again, your first month of the year is the spring. Keep that in mind when you're counting. All right. Now you got cultural feast days. They're not found in Torah, but they are culturally significant. Now you might have somebody say, if they're not found in Torah, I'm not doing them. Okay, let's deal with that. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 12. And it reads, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Hey, your forefathers is your father and your mother. Your forefathers still have to be honored. Right? And check this out. The scribes, the prophets, and the mighty men of esteem and renown that translated your Bible decided to put a book in there called Esther. And Esther is about the events that took place that led up to creating a cultural feast day, right? They didn't see that and say, you're adding to the scriptures. They saw that and said, of course, I'm going to add that to the scriptures. Of course, I'm going to put that as a canonized book in the scriptures, right? So by keeping that day, you're not dishonoring the Most High, right? We gotta, I think a lot of the times when we first come into this truth, we so ready to get rid of everything of the world that we throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And me and the brother Aharon talk about this all the time. We throw out praise and worship. We throw out prayer. We throw out X, Y, and Z. And one of the things we try to throw out is the cultural feast days. All right. Don't throw these away. That's the reason why the Maccabees was written in some of the most important history you can find in your Bible is in the Maccabees. All right. So just want to bring that out. Now,
hey, can I get a preset real fast?
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Just to your point, this is 2 Maccabees 4. I'm just going to read 15.
Mm-hmm.
It says, not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. This is talking about when Israel was assimilating to the way of the Grecians, right? And we didn't. It says we wasn't sitting by the honor of our forefathers when we took their ways,
right?
It's the same thing he's saying here, right? If you sitting by the honor of your forefathers, you will keep the feast that your forefathers put in place, whether Torah or what's the words you use? Cultural.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, that's right. And that's beautiful because I was actually going to use that precept and I didn't put it in there. And the Spirit said, "Now he's still getting it."
Oh, damn. There you go.
Right. I literally was going to add that. Let me get Colossians 2:8. Right. We're going to show you something that brothers would say. I'm going to show y'all something that brothers would say in response to you wanting to keep Purim or the Feast of Dedication.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 2, and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
Hey, you see that? They trying to spoil you. Don't let these camps spoil you with philosophy and vain deceit. Y'all out here practicing the day of Nicanor and the destruction of Simon. And man, y'all wicked, man. Y'all wicked, right? These are philosophies and vain deceits. Y'all are adding. Matter of fact, let me get another precept, brother. Let me get another one. Let's get Matthew 15:3. Because what y'all doing is y'all are setting aside the commandments of God to keep the traditions of men.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verse 3. But he answered and said, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
But this is the heaviest point, right? Colossians 2:8 says what? It says, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. Uh-oh. By me, right. Uh-oh. They ain't read that. They didn't read that. Me keeping Purim in remembrance of how the Most High delivered us from the enemies. How is that the rudiments of the world? And how is that not after Christ?
Dedication.
The Feast of Dedication. How is that not after Christ?
How?
You got to prove that. Matthew 15:3 says what? Read that one again.
But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
You see that? How are we transgressing the commandment of God? Notice these feast days are on days that do not interfere with anything. These feast days don't interfere with the new moons.
Mm-hmm.
These feast days don't interfere with the Torah observed feast days. So how is it that you're going to use this verse to say that our culture and our tradition is against the will of the Most High God?
And if that's the case, then Christ did things that are against the Most High.
Hey, that's right. Let's get that. Let's get that. And we know, God forbid, right?
Right. It's the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22. That's where you wanted to go, right?
Yep, that's right.
It's the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. And Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus, walked in the temple in Solomon's porch.
Now, this right here proves not only that Christ, this proves 2 points that we made already. This proves that Christ went to the Feast of Dedication.
That's a
He
fact.
did. There is no verse in here where he denounces the Feast of Dedication. And there's no verse in here where he told anybody they was wicked for keeping it. Instead, he came and showed up. He allowed his disciples to go, and he went and taught people there. Right? Now, let's check this out. Another thing that's brought up. It says it was winter. Look at the screen. Right? So, the Feast of Dedication, it says on the 25th day of the 9th month, it was winter. Remember, we said that the first month is the spring. It makes perfect sense that 9 months later will be the winter. So, cross-referencing and using historical analysis, we can prove in many different ways that the Passover has to be in the spring and that the Feast of Dedication has to be in the winter. And by knowing those two things, we can affix the rest of the calendar to where it's supposed to be at. All right. Now, I'm gonna make a couple more points, then I'm gonna drop this, and then we're gonna go into the next part of this, right? We're not gonna be doing this too long. I want to make the point and be done. Key takeaways. Watching the moon is now a biblical observance we need to add to our daily lives, right? You need to be doing this. You need to become more in tune with the signs, the seasons, and the appointed times that the Most High God set up, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. We calculate the new moon. As we said before, first, I didn't add this to the slide, but the first thing we do is calculate where the beginning of the year is. We know that's the spring. When you begin to see the flowers blooming and there's new life on the earth, you know the spring has come, right? We calculate the new moon after that, and then from there, we count the days to figure out what feast day we at, right? Each year is going to have 12 months until you get to a leap year. And that's a separate lesson. So I will do my best to get that lesson recorded and then put the link at the bottom, right? I already taught the lesson, but we'll reteach it to make sure y'all know what time it is. The Sabbaths are not counted based on the moon, according to our estimation. And I'm going to give you one verse to show you why I believe that. Let's go to Leviticus 23. Now, let's say that we was counting the Sabbath by the moons. Let's say that we kept what they call a lunar Sabbath. And this is just why we don't keep it, right? I'm showing you a very simple explanation, what was shown to me, why we don't keep it, right? Let's go to Leviticus 23 and verse 15.
Con is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, and verse 15. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
All right, let's stop. If you're keeping a lunar Sabbath,
All right.
7 Sabbaths will never be 49 days.
Never. It'll be almost 7 months.
It will never be 49 days because remember, when your new moon comes, a lot of lunar Sabbath people, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of lunar Sabbath brothers, they don't count the new moon as a lunar Sabbath. They don't count that as a Sabbath. They count it as a new moon. It's a separate day. So that means that you got to count to the new moon, skip that day, count 6 more days, then you get another Sabbath. It's impossible to count it that way and get 49 days when you're looking at 7 Sabbaths. Impossible. Now read that next verse.
Verse 16. Even unto the morrow, after the 7th Sabbath, shall ye number 50 days.
You see that? The day after the 7th Sabbath has to be the 50th day. Otherwise, we can't call it Pentecost no more. Right? And the count is off. So, a couple of things we're trying to show you. That's the reason we keep it this way. All right? But we love you if you keep it the other way. We're not even mad. I'm just letting you know why we keep it this way. Next bullet point. Understanding the moon cycles, we can always know what time of the month we are in. Daniel 7 and 25. Somebody said this earlier in the lesson, and this was a good point.
This is the book of Daniel. Oop, passed it. Salaki. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of time.
Okay, so we taught that lesson, right? About this wicked man. But think about it. He's gonna change what? Times and laws, man. He got to change that because he don't want you to be able to serve the Most High God, because he understands the Confederate blueprint. If I keep these people away from worshiping their Most High God and keep them away from their laws, statutes, and commandments, I got them forever. Right? So in order for you to combat that, you need to understand that the Most High has set up a clock in the sky that nobody can touch, nobody can manipulate. Long as you understand what's going on with the moon, you can understand what your feast days are, and you can understand everything you need to know. It's something that Esau can't change, but he's gonna try. Right? Hey, look, y'all ever seen Despicable Me? They had the bad guy on there trying to steal the moon. Right? Like, it's like, yo, they had the bad guy on the movie trying to steal the moon. That's literally the level that Esau is on now. It's like, yo, we're gonna tell everybody we went to the moon, whether they went to the moon. You know, that's not a point that I'm making, but they will do anything they can. There's no limit that Esau will stop at. All right, Salaki, I ain't mean to pull that off the screen. Let me get a couple more, and then we're gonna be done with this point. So it says feast days, new moons, and Sabbaths were recognized in captivity. Right? Somebody get Judith, or I'm talking about somebody get Judith 8 and 6, and I'm gonna grab Tobit chapter 2.
Yeah, that brother said somebody like we.
I said that, yeah, like I got 5 readers, man.
This is the book of Judas, chapter 8 and verse 6. And she fasted all the days of her widowhood, save the eves of the Sabbaths, and the Sabbaths, and the eves of the new moons, and the new moons, and the feasts and solemn days of the house of Israel.
Hey, you see that? Why is she doing that? Because she's still observing those days. She's not gonna fast because she's been commanded to feast. So although she's in captivity, she's still gonna observe those days and have respect unto them days. I'm gonna read Tobit chapter 2 and verse 1. Now Tobit is written from captivity. Now, when I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Tobias in the feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of 7 weeks, which we just talked about. For all of y'all who want to say that no, Pentecost don't mean 7 weeks, it means the 7 weeks plus the 50 days, right? Well, now we got a cross reference saying it's 7 weeks, right? The holy feast of the 7 weeks. There was a good dinner prepared me in which I sat down to eat. So Tobit, in the land of his captivity, is still getting ready to partake in the feast, man. Right? So once again, feast days can be kept in the land of your captivity. We are in the land of drawn waters, right? Which is the land of captivity, and we're going to do our best to rehearse the righteous acts. That's what we teach. And most high willing, he have mercy on us as we attempt to do our best. All right. So that's how you calculate the feast days. Like I said, there are some nuances, but you have all the basics that you need. You're going to start in the spring. You're going to count your moons to get to the proper months. And then you're going to count the days within the months to get to the proper feast day. All right. So that's all I have for that portion. Now, we did have a quiz that we put out to see where people stood on this. And I want to bring out some of the knowledge and wisdom that y'all brought out in the quiz too. Hold on real quick. Salaki, I'm going to let you say something for a second while I pull this up.
All right, cool. Hey, if you learned something from this class, I did. If you learned something from the class, put a 7 in the chat, Baba Cashapp. Put a 7 in the chat if you learned something from this class. All right. Once again, I'm gonna say it twice. All right, just to make it nice. Passover 2023, Atlanta, Georgia. Be in the building. Don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and get your spot reserved. All right, we want you to come feast with us. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if you are, you know, if you are planning to keep the Passover, which everybody should, all right, keep it with your brothers. All right, keep it with your brothers and the sisters that congregate with us in Atlanta, so we can keep the feast together. All right, once again, April 3rd, which is a Monday. So go ahead and take off from that Friday through that Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some travel time. All right, because we're going to have a good time that whole weekend. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have an excellent time at the Passover itself. All right. So make sure you send us that email and we'll shoot you I know, right? Them flights about to be crazy, but hey, that's the sacrifice we made to keep the Lord's feast. All right. Send us an email, anointedhos@gmail.com. I'll shoot you the RSVP link, and then we'll have you up in the building. We'll let you know how much it costs to hold 9 yards for Passover. All right. So there we go.
All right, Khan, all praises. Hey, so look, a lot of y'all went through. Y'all did good on these quizzes. I think the main ones, like I said, the main things that people mess up on is how to say Happy New Moon. Just always remember, it's Ashar, Kadash, Yarak. Kadash is the main one that people mess up, and it's not Kodash with a Q. And then obviously, let's read some of these answers for this one. This is a good one. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do it like this right here. Right. So that last question was a multiple choice, or it was a short answer, a long answer question. So it shows up red that you got it wrong, but you most likely got it right because I see everybody said the same thing. Hey, let's get Judges 5 and 11. So the question was, in light of Deuteronomy 16 and 16, can we observe the high holy days in the land of our captivity? Also, name a biblical example of your answer. All right. So this brother right here said yes, Judges 5 and 11, and I'm gonna let you read that.
Con. Hey, you know what? That's a good one because people they say that you can't do that. So
Hey, that's right.
I've seen that a million times. People try to scoff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's get this is Judges 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers and the places of drawing water, there they shall rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
Hey, and we look forward to the day we get to go down to them gates, man. Right? But it says they that are delivered from, so we waiting on our salvation, the noise of the archers, meaning that is war in the city, right? It's people shooting. And a lot of us, we read this and we like the noise of archers, but you know what that is. That's 4th of July when people standing out in the cul-de-sac busting shots in the air, like the noise of archers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same thing. You and you at your house chilling, having a cookout, and you just hear pop, 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 and then the car peeling off. Like you hearing the noise of archers, right? And the place of drawing water. You have to go to work and do backbreaking work. In that same place, you're going to rehearse the righteous acts. So that's what this verse is talking about. All right. The next one says Ezra 6 and 19. Let's see what that one says.
This is book of Ezra chapter 6 and verse 19. And the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. Yeah, that's the major cut.
That's a heavy one. That's a mean slice right there, boy.
So everybody that goes and asks says, "Oh, you can't keep the Passover in the place of your captivity." What was the first Passover at?
Hey, there you go. That's what the brother Kendrick said.
In
That's what
freedom.
that's what Kadar Haran said. He said the first Passover was in captivity, man.
Hey, I'm gonna have to find it. I'm gonna have to find it. Anyway, it's all right. Don't worry about it. But hey, the Feast of Dedication, right? The
That's
Feast
right.
of Dedication was I was gonna get the precept, I can't find it. But the Feast of Dedication was enacted, I guess that's the word I'm using, put in place, set up during a time of great tumult and captivity and some every I mean that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the brothers said that too. Brother said second Maccabees 1-9, second Maccabees 1:17-18, right? The Maccabees kept tabernacles during the Greek persecution. That's a beautiful answer, right? I'm just scrolling through these. Somebody said Passover under King Darius, right? Isaiah 66:23. We read that one. Let me see another one. Judith 8:6. We hit that. Let's get Luke 22:7.
Come. This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 7. Then came the day of unleavened bread when the Passover must be killed. And he sent Peter and John, saying, go and prepare us the Passover that we may eat.
Hey, and we know that the Romans were occupying the land during that time, right? So if the Romans were occupying the land, that's captivity.
That's right.
And a lot of these scoffers didn't really think they questioned out all the way before they put it in there, you know. Yep, Ezra, and then that brother just said Khan. Okay. So all praises. That's all the responses I believe I got to. Like I said, most people got all the questions right. I'm trying to see if there's anything I missed in particular. Yo, Israel be on it, man. You can't get nothing past us. Oh yeah, also when the moon is getting bigger, it's called waxing. So when it's getting bigger, it's called waxing, and when it's getting smaller, it's called waning. Right? So they'll call it like waning gibbous, or y'all can go look that up. That's not really important, but it's something that you'll run across when you read in these Bible app or these moon apps, and you're trying to figure out what part of the month you're in and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's beautiful, man. So hey, that's all I had. I kept it short. I wanted to make sure that y'all got what you needed and was able to come back and watch this lesson when you need to, break it down however you need to, and just keep it short and to the point, man. So hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. That's all I have.
All right, all praise to the Most High, man. All praises. I hope brothers and sisters was edified. You're gonna get more edification and entertainment. All right, just know that. All right, so if it's only a few of y'all, that's what the Most High sent to get the lesson. Point blank. Period.
That's right.
All right, a lot of people they get mad when views ain't to a certain degree, but the Bible says 2/3 are gonna be cut off and die. So the majority ain't gonna be on your class anyway.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Unless it was about some drama, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll have everybody coming out of the woodworks for some drama. All right, so once again, all right, y'all go ahead and start getting prepared. All right, go ahead and start getting prepared for Passover 2023, Atlanta, Georgia, on April 3rd, which is a Monday. Once again, we're gonna have multiple performances going on. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be having multiple camps that weekend. Some other things going on that I'm just going to keep to myself till you get there.
That's right.
All right. So be prepared. Get your house in order. All right. Send us an email, AnointedHOS@gmail.com. We'll shoot you a link. We'll let you know how much it costs for you and your family, or if it's just you. You know what I'm saying? All of that good stuff like that. We're going to feed you good. We're going to make sure you have an excellent lesson first and foremost. All right? And then we're going to keep the feast of the Lord and gather together. All right? So make sure you prepared for Passover 2023. All right? Send that email so we can get you in the building. All right? And with that, all right, we are the Anointed House of Saints. All right? And we give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. The water, Shalom.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black